Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you guys something really special. You guys probably have seen it on social media, and that is our new nude palette. This is a really exciting palette because when we thought about nude, we thought about, really how important it is to have those most amazing basic colors, but nude has changed. Nude is so different today than what it was a long time ago. So where it used to be before, like, you send nudes to the guy you're talking to, it's not about that anymore. It's about being sexy for yourself. And that's really what this palette represents. We really wanted to create something that, you could kind of experiment, express, and also empower yourselves with. And that is really everything that is in the new nude palette from Huda Beauty. So I'm going to show you guys, we actually have a lot of really interesting textures in this. You guys probably know our big palettes are really full of innovation. They're full of, those really essential colors, but also the most delicious, most amazing textures. We really push the bar with these. We have our beautiful mattes in these gorgeous colors, and they actually look kind of a little bit more brown than they actually are. When you actually put them on, they're slightly more pink. They're really very unique. We also have this amazing concealer formula, which is slightly opaque, slightly transparent. It is amazing to use before you apply eyeshadow, and it really just makes that color pop. And it works on every skin tone. We tried it with a lot of skin tones, and it works on everyone's skin tones, even though it's a little bit light. We also have our glitters, which we had in our Desert Dusk. We've reformulated them. They are so creamy. They really go on, so pigmented and so beautiful, and the shimmer is stunning. And then we also have, a classic shimmer, which we've really just done a beautiful job with. Our team has done such an amazing job with it. And then a new formula, which has never been seen before, and it is super luxurious. This is full on shimmer, and that is these spackled formulas, which are just spectacular. So basically it's a hint of pigments and shimmers, and then it also has these chunks of iridescence. So as you apply it, it's so creamy and it's so delicious. It's so intense, and it gives you the shimmer that is just insane. It's unparalleled. And there's different ways in applying either the shimmers, these spackled, or the glitters. And what you can do is I recommend putting either the concealer on first, and then you get a little bit more of an intense application with both the glitters and the spackles, or you can put them on top of the matte, and it still goes on intense, but not as intense as it would if you're putting them on top of a concealer or bare skin. So that's really up to you. I usually use it right on top of the matte, and I still get beautiful shimmery goddess application, but it really depends on how intense, because these will go intense. You could be in the moon, you could be like flying with SpaceX and seeing it, from Earth. That's how intense these can get. They're really intense. One thing I want to show you guys just before we go into the tutorial is our beautiful brushes that we created specifically for this palette. If you do want to get all three brushes, then they're basically all you need to create pretty much any single look, and they really do look stunning with the palette, and each of the designs is really unique. I'll show them to you right now in detail, but they really do make the application just seamless, really foolproof, and make the entire process just so much easier. Where sometimes with certain brushes you need to, build everything in. This is going to make it, one swatch on, perfectly intense application. Done. So I'm going to start first with the Fender Blender, because this is a really special brush. I don't know if you guys remember when we first created our first rose gold palette, we insisted that you could only apply them with your finger. We got made fun of because, the fact that we expected people to apply the shadows with a finger, but it actually became a huge thing, and people started using their fingers with all shimmer shadows because it really does intensify your shadows. So we ended up making fun of ourselves, and we created an April Fool's video about the Fender Blender, which we thought was really hilarious. If you guys didn't see it, it was, it was really funny. We basically took a Halloween finger and we were like, we created the Fender Blender. And people were like, we really want the Fender Blender. So what we basically did was we created one side that is kind of like the felt tip that you would typically get in a, normal eyeshadow palette. Some of those mini quads have them. And we really wanted to create something that was really flexible, but would still pick up shadow depending on what type of formula it was. And then on the other side, we have this silicone. It's really interesting. It does blend, but it does apply like your finger. So it picks up product in such an interesting way, and we wanted to go with a thinner applicator. This way you could really get intense, like really close into the inner corners. On the bottom, you can apply a nice amount of product, and it picks up pretty much every formula that we've worked with. We have a lot of interesting formulas in all of our palettes. These work with every single formula. We are calling this the Fender Blender to celebrate, that amazing concept of using your finger for shadows. The second brush that we created really is one of those most essential brushes for applying, crease shadow. So one thing that we really noticed was, most crease applicators that you usually get in eyeshadow palettes are really great, but they're usually something a little bit like this, which is totally necessary. And then it usually has something just slightly bigger on the other side, which is great, but you know, sometimes application, people need a little assistance with blending. So we wanted to create something that really is super easy to blend, super easy to apply, and just makes application seamless. And this is a little bit of an angled fluffy brush. You might notice it looks a little bit similar to our concealer brush. It does. Our concealer brush was originally an eyeshadow brush that we just love for concealer, and this is just a slightly smaller version of that really makes it super easy to apply a nice amount of pigment on the eyes, and also it just blends it seamlessly because of the shape. So this really is fantastic for that purpose, and it's double-sided. So you can have this small, I'm working a little extra shadow on my crease, making everything a little bit more intense, and then I'm blending everything out to like seamless, perfect airbrush application. Then the last brush really is one of my favorites. Actually, I love all these brushes. I'm dying over them. I get so many questions about how to apply eyeshadow on the bottom, and this can be used for so many things. Yes, you could use this on top of the lid here to pack on product, but really this is gonna be your best friend for getting the most deliciously beautiful smoky eye on the bottom lash line. So this is really amazing because the density, the length of it, the thickness of it, everything is perfect for applying the most amazing application on the bottom shadow line. So you'll pick up the right amount of product and you'll buff this out, and no matter what you're wearing, if you're not wearing makeup one day, you just want to put bronzer on, this is going to change your life. It's so good. And then the other side of it really is a little bit more of a precise applicator. So if you want to like blend out a liner, you want to blend out shimmers, whatever you want to do, a little bit more detailed work, this is going to be your best friend. This is literally the perfect brush. Actually, these brushes, I'm not joking, they're the best. They're pretty much all you need for eyeshadows, and we are launching them specifically with the shadows. These are exclusive online. You can only get them online in a couple places. We'll put down below where you can get them. So the look we're gonna create today is gonna be super natural. We're gonna go super soft. It's a little bit of a smoky eye, but it's a soft, nudie, pinkish, purple, glittery smoky eyes. Everyone can use this. Everyone can do this. You can go day to night with this look. It's going to be really, really beautiful and kind of a little bit more muted from the looks we usually do. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to start first using our Build and Blend brush. And I'm going to start first with the little bit of the softer side. And I'm going to first start with this little like beigey purple kind of lavender color. It's a really cool purple, but I'm going to start that to kind of shape my look, and then I'll build more colors on top of it. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this, and you can see when I pick it up on the brush, so much pigment goes on. So you don't want to use too much. We like to go really intense in pigmentation. That's just like what we love. And so what we're going to do is I'm just going to start shaping out the eyelid here. And I'm barely applying the brush, and so much pigmentation is going on. And you can already see this color is pretty intense. I did not apply a primer. I applied a little bit of concealer earlier in the day. So if you want to use a primer, go ahead. I'm going to go secondly in with tease. I'm going to go ahead and grab the same brush. So now I'm just going to go slightly more into the crease here. Super intense. And I'm just going to start blending it right away. I love double-sided brushes because I feel like you can kind of switch in between the two. So I'm applying and blending. Now I'm going to go in ever so slightly with this really nice pink color called Spanked. I'm gonna go in really lightly again with the brush, and you can see I picked up a lot of pigment here, so I don't want to use too much. And I'm just gonna go ahead, and I actually tapped it on a towel that I have here. I am going back and forth, and it's blending beautifully. And I'm just working in my crease. I'm just like literally following my crease line. And if you guys want more eyeshadow tutorials, like more in depth, we can definitely do that. I'm gonna go in ever so slightly now with a shade called Love Bite, and I'm really taking a small amount of it because it's very purple and very intense. The names are a little bit naughty and adventurous, and again, this is not for you to have with anyone else. It's for you to have with yourself. And you could of course apply shadow with this side of the brush as well, but I just, I'd rather layer and make it kind of really, really blurred. I'm now gonna take the Fender blender, and I'm gonna use this soft side to apply a little bit of concealer. And I'm just picking up a nice amount there. And I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it literally right on the lid here. And it goes a little ashy on me, which we tested on a lot of skin tones. It sometimes happens, but once you apply the shadows on top, it completely goes away. So I wouldn't recommend putting the concealer on and leaving it. It's definitely something that is a little bit more of a base than a concealer. And I'm using this really very triangular, shapely side to kind of shape out where I want my crease to be. And a lot of times people like to apply liquid and then shape it, and that's fine, but it can be a little complicated, it can be messy. So this is gonna make the application of that much easier because it's a little bit of a drier, pastier product. And I'm just kind of patting it into place. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other side. And the shape of this makes it really easy to apply a very clean shape. So now I'm just gonna take these beautiful shimmery colors, and I'm gonna show you guys really quickly how they look when you swatch them. So you see this beautiful amount of pigmentation here with the spackles, and when you swatch them, what happens is you kind of mix everything together. So you can see on top, it basically, it still keeps the spackle, but not as much. But what happens to your finger is you have this intense pigmentation. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one. They are stunning. These last really, really well. I mean, they swatch super shimmery and they are intense. So I'm gonna take the silicone side, the other side. I'm gonna start with this color and I'm gonna apply it on top of the concealer here. I'm just gonna take the other side of that and I'm just gonna kind of diffuse the color a little bit. I'm now just gonna grab this lilac-y kind of pink color and I'm just gonna apply it right here in the center. And I'm just applying it all over the lid. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the other side. I'm now just going to move to the bottom lash line and I'm going to use this brush. This is going to make it so easy. I'm just going to first go ahead and grab this lilac-y color and I'm just going to apply it basically right under the lash line here. It's so easy. It makes under eye application like the easiest. I'm just going swish, 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 swishing back and forth. Super easy. Like in a couple strokes, you have like a beautiful smoky eye. I'm going to take this pink color with a slight amount of that purple color and I'm gonna again work it under here. And you can always use like this brush if you want to, the more defined brush, kind of work it in. And I'm gonna grab this light pink color in and just like blend it again all together. I'm now just gonna grab my Fender blender, and this is one of my favorite things to do in the entire world. I am all about that inner glow in the inner lash line, so I love using the Fender blender. This is one of the reasons why we made it so slim, actually, for that inner tear duct. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this light color, this lilac-y color, and I'm just gonna basically apply it right here. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of lash primer. This is from Givenchy, their base mascara Perfecto. Haven't tried this lash primer before, but I like that it's pink. I'm gonna let that set for just a minute. I'm just gonna apply a nice coat of mascara on top. So I've applied a lot of mascara on. If you wanna leave it on mascara, you totally can. I mean, the eyeshadow is so intense and like the effect is so beautiful. I'm dying over this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and apply some lashes on top. I love this eye. Love this eyeshadow. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. I feel like I don't wanna open my eyes though. I just wanna go everywhere like, what'd you say? What'd you say, Chris? So pretty. I like just want to take selfies today. Just applying some lashes. Oh! Just gonna apply the second lash now. It's always important to make sure your lashes are even on both sides. And we are done. This is the final look. It's really, really insanely beautiful. I'm obsessed with this look. I really am just like obsessed with the glitter and the shimmer, and I know that's like not typically nude, but this is, you know, the new nude. This is the Huda Beauty new nude. So I can't wait for you guys to get this palette and try it. Hopefully you guys love it as much as we do. The textures are incredible. So make sure you guys please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.